Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 20 wins in a row. It's a game we're never gonna lose again. Who would have thought it possible? Me. After some strife, F3S2 PP2K. 2 kilometers maybe. Speed, rate of fire, damage, all just about average. HP just about average as well. 1 red heart, 1 spirit heart. But we do have some advantages. I like that. Spider Butt is a once every 2 rooms spacebar item that actually is pretty decent. And Holy Light might act, I go back and forth. But it's one of the best tier effects in the game. If we can get a rate of fire that like proportionally allows us to get this to actually work more frequently, we're gonna be over the moon. Especially if this is yeah, a couple of spirit hearts. I was just gonna say, I really do feel like we've had well, my confidence has come back to a large degree in Isaac, and I know people are probably sick of hearing about it. They're like, we don't want to see you win. We want to see you talk about, you know, ridiculous premises like, hey, shouldn't the television program Good Morning America be on a lot later when the unemployment rate rises in the country? That's just one off the top of the dome piece. Don't hit me. I'm Ryan. There we go. We're looking. Please summon some more. Oh, I love it. But I do have to intro this with a little bit of like, how's your father? I'm very happy with how we're doing. I think we've been crushing it lately, and I'm happy with where we're at. We're gonna continue to move on here. We're at the point, and we got to this point a few years ago when we were on a long streak. We're at the point where I'm kind of like, as soon as one good thing happens to me on a run, I'm like, we win. Which is not always going to be true. However, I will admit, we should have gone to the curse room on the last floor, probably. It's a bit of a rookie move. It might not have worked out, but, you know, when you got that much HP to start with, or pretty early on, I should say, it's probably worth doing. It's not a good use of Spider Butt, necessarily. But, yeah, you know, that happened to us when we were on that streak. The fabled triple-digit streak from many a year ago. We'd be like, oh, it's an HP upgrade, okay, we win. And most of the time that turned out to be correct, but one day it wasn't. And we've been trying to get back to that place ever since. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a one run. Sometimes I feel like my only friend. Now, if we were a bit braver, that was actually like a pretty interesting deal with the devil to talk about. Even still, you know, as I play Isaac, I don't know why we got like range damage there. It affected enemies in an area instead of just hitting the one that Holy Light hit. Does it do AoE damage in a much larger range than I expected? Maybe? But anyway, that deal with the devil is very interesting, because Sack Dagger is definitely, by itself, a better item than Guppy's Collar, unless you're lucky enough, or let's say unlucky enough, really, to find yourself in a position where Guppy's Collar maybe saves your life. But the transformation from Guppy's Collar, far from guaranteed, but if you can manage to swing it, very likely to basically win you the game by itself. Leprosy, I don't think it's that useful for us, to be honest. I don't know if it's ever that useful. Maybe if you had an IV bag and you could make it happen by default, or on command, I should say. It's a really big floor for the second floor of the game. But yeah, you know, there's like a good, neutral, and evil path. Or I should say there's a lawful, chaotic, unlawful path there. Or wait, you can tell I'm a poser here. Wait, it's lawful, neutral, and chaotic, right? So the way that would work there is, lawful is you take Sack Dagger. Neutral is you take Guppy's Collar. And then chaotic is you take both, but take Guppy's Collar first so that you have the respawn chance. I think you'd have to be out of your mind to do that right now, but you know what? Don't mind if I did. Okay, we can't go back. I think we should hold AWAS for now. My whole thinking with AWAS is, we can maybe use it. we got to start taking a long tail approach, you know? I'm over here, I'm going into job interviews, and they're asking, what's your 5-year plan? And I'm like, 5-year plan? Get a deal with the devil on this floor, and then I was thinking, take it from there. There's a certain element of, you know, take it as it comes, for sure, on a run like this, yet at the same time, there's nothing wrong with keeping this AWAS rune and using it to get out of boss rush, for example. That's not a bad 5-year plan. Oh. Don't mind if I do. So Spirit of the Night's awesome. We gotta keep opening the other red chests because there is a chance that we'll pick up, I mean, I'm also gonna take Necronomicon, but isn't the Necronomicon's just kind of like a worse version of Spider Butt, I guess. Anyway, the ability to fly is huge here. We can hold AWAS as long as is necessary, or we can dump it as soon as is convenient. Much like the Fox Network and their treatment of Arrested Development back in 2003, 2004, 2005. That's right. It's weird, like, I grew up, I wouldn't say in the golden age of television. I think that golden age is happening, you know, maybe a few years ago, but definitely in the contemporary period. Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, you know, Justified. So much good stuff on TV these days. But I grew up when there were some beloved shows that got canceled because the internet didn't exist. You know, people didn't know how to handle them back then. You may think that I am a charlatan for saying this, but I was like 14 when Family Guy got canceled, and it was considered a great injustice. Not the 14-year-olds everywhere, but before Seth MacFarlane, for most people, myself included, no offense meant, kind of jumped the shark, it was a show that was actually really, really well liked. People were clamoring for it to be brought back. Now I'm like, oh my god. There was a point in time where people wanted more Seth MacFarlane? Between the movies and the Cleveland Show, Family Guy, American Dad. I think Cleveland Show was ended recently, but the dude, I mean, I gotta hand it to him. He's prodigious. He produces a lot of content. But, yeah, it's a different era. Same thing with Arrested Development. How do people feel about Arrested Development now? Those first 3 seasons were amazing, and then it came back and kind of lost a lot of its luster after that point. No question about it, so I loved the first 3 years of Arrested Development. And then I went back when the 4th season came out on Netflix and watched it. Watched like 2 episodes and was like, this is not the same. I applaud you for trying, I really do, but I mean, it's part of the reason I'm so skeptical about reboots and, you know, reunion shows and stuff like that. They tend to just not be nearly as good as particularly reboots. I'm not cynical. I will say, like, for a lot of you watching this, I'm kind of like the problem in Hollywood. I'm Hollywood's bad boy, Colin Farrell. Please run. We've run into some hard times here. For a lot of you watching, I might be like the problem in Hollywood, you know? I didn't see Annihilation in theaters. I didn't see Blade Runner in theaters. But I show up opening weekend for every single Marvel movie. It tickles my fancy, and it's always worth the price on the ticket. I don't need to justify myself to you. It's always a good time. And I will say, oh, dude, this is a tough one. Because, like, do we want to give you money knowing we might not be able to buy a Spirit Heart in this case? Give me a second. I'm going to finish that earlier train of thought, potentially. Well, we are closing in on Bookworm. I think right now we leave and try to buy a Spirit Heart. We did no damage. It's a very bad start. This run has gotten scary. Which is, by the way, exactly what I get for suggesting that we were guaranteed a victory after getting a decent first couple of floors. Hey, just pop up, please. Let's go. It's all right, as long as we... Woo, what a deflection there. As long as we reflect, you know, get ready to improve ourselves here, I think we're good. You know, just play smarter. But yeah, if you're wondering why there's not more big budget sci-fi, you can't pin all your problems on me. I mean, you know, unlike many of the people watching this video, I do pay-per-view, which is crazy. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm 100 years old every time I do it, but I'm like, oh, thank God we're gonna live. I'm like, you know, yeah, I want to see this movie, let's do it. $6? No problem. So I do support, but more in the home video market, I suppose. That's where I watch The Disaster Artist, for example, but despite maybe being part of the source of my own problems, dude, I don't know, when I look at the movies coming out, as soon as I see something's a remake, there's like a maybe a 1% chance I go see it in theaters. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a remake in a theater, and I think that the answer may well be no. It's not like that's an incredible sign of personal strength, by the way. Not many people saw, like, the Ben-Hur remake in theaters. Or, not Blade Runner, Total Recall, that's it. Not many people saw Total Recall in theaters. Wasn't exactly considered to be must-see television, or, must-see films, I should say. Oh, we need a bomb. This floor is kind of falling apart for us, hasn't it? Let's see if we can get ahead of the curve. Sadly, no. Yeah, we lost a lot on this floor. I'm a little afraid of where things go from this point onwards, but I still think we're good. Now, I'm not gonna be a Marvel stan, as people say on Twitter these days. All I'm gonna say is that I think the Marvel backlash is already happening. Is already happening, and is also inevitable. You know, it's been oh my lord, Curse of the Maze caused me some problems there. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been on a sustained level of popularity for so long that inevitably there's going to be backlash, and the backlash is very sensible, okay? Because, you know, I don't just enjoy movies. I will take Taurus, even though it scares me to start with here. I enjoy quote-unquote films as well. I like them both. As many people do, to be fair. But if you're the kind of person who likes quote-unquote films, but wishes there were more original ideas in the movie side of things as well, Marvel's got to grind your gears, because every single origin movie is some variation on a theme of, like, we pluck someone from, like, pseudo-nothingness, and then now they're fighting, you know, some kind of galaxy-destroying villain or something like that. And they've done an okay job of mixing that formula up, but I think that's not a criticism that's unfair. And then on top of that, as soon as one of the franchises becomes successful, it's no longer just like, hey, it's a movie. Now it's like, this movie factors into this movie, and it's like, if you're being very cynical about it, it's just a money-making machine, and you're like, do we really need a Doctor Strange 2? And the answer is yes, because in Doctor Strange 2, we'll find out something that'll link up to Captain Marvel, and, you know, oh, the consequences of what happens at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and, you know, that can become tiresome for sure. But, in those movies' defense, they're still killing it. There's negative things you can say about pretty much every movie in the MCU, but by and large, they're consistent. And I think that's what actually ends up being their, in some people's eyes, oh no, their worst fault, is that they're kind of just like the same level of good. At least a lot of them are just roughly the same level of goodness as all the other ones, you know? We're gonna take some damage here. Oh my god, we're lucky. Thank God for Pacifier, dude. This run's getting a little tricky. We need a speed upgrade as soon as possible as well. Like, I'm not immune to the fact that, or I'm not ignorant, I should say, to the fact that Marvel movies have their haters. We talk about them a lot. I'm super excited for Infinity War, which as of the time of this video has probably come out like, you know, 3 weeks ago. If it sucks, how am I gonna feel? I'm 30, basically. I'm close enough to 30 that I say I'm 30 without feeling the need to be like, actually I'm 29 in 6 months. So I'll get over it. I'll be like, it's a movie, you know? If it's amazing, I'll never shut up. But if it sucks, I'll get over it real quickly. But I get it, you know. The only thing that annoys me, and I've said this on the show many times, is when people are like, oh, they're talking about superhero movies again. I hate when they talk about superhero movies. They're ruining the industry. And then you go, okay, what'd you see at the theater this weekend? And you go, unless you're going to see Lady Bird in your college's independent movie theater, 20 seats, popcorn's $2, and the owners lose $4 on every ticket sold. Don't lecture other people about what they're going to see at the multiplex. You know what gets me, though? Like, whenever we go to the movie theater, which doesn't happen, we see like one movie every 2 months, maybe something like that. How often do Marvel movies come out? One movie every 2 months or so. We always see these trailers for movies, and I know there's a lot of people on planet Earth, right? But for so bad. For so many of these movies, I just go, who's seeing this in theaters? I do not understand. Like, when I see a trailer, and I talked about this, you know, maybe a month ago or 3 weeks ago, something like that. When we saw A Quiet Place, we saw a trailer for this movie called Hide and Seek. Or, sorry, Truth or Dare, my mistake. And it was like a schlock teen supernatural slasher flick. And it looked like garbage, and the reviews came out. And I gotta admit, it scored better than I expected, but it was still like in the 20s. Wow, be careful, please. We're free. When I saw that, I was like, I know exactly. I don't think that movie's gonna be good, but people are gonna see it in theaters. At least a certain percentage of people are gonna see it because they're gonna be like, it looks bad, but that'll be fun. Or they're younger and they're like, ooh, that looks so scary. And I'm like, well, how quickly you'll figure out the cynicism of going to see a movie in February. But anyway, you know, I totally got that. But when I see like a Kate Hudson romantic comedy trailer, I actually don't get it. I actually just go, is anybody still... I expect this movie to be a lot better than Truth or Dare. But I expect it to make like literally $0 at the box office. Like, are there people out there that are like, oh, that new Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn movie looks amazing. I gotta go see that. I don't think so. Like, that's something you wait to show up. It's one of those movies where like 3 months after it comes out in theaters, it's on Netflix, and you're like, thank God I didn't pay $20 to go see that. I don't think you need to necessarily have something on the big screen, or it doesn't need to be an action movie for you to see it on the big screen, but there needs to be like some kind of, you know, pseudo event associated with it, right? New Pixar movie, new Marvel movie, the reviews are amazing, you know, oh, it's got incredible technology in the movie, or so, like a Quiet Place. Not a movie you have to see in theaters, but it was kind of a nice shared experience, being in a movie theater and for once having it be pretty quiet instead of like, you know, blasting you in the face with the Dolby Atmos every 2 seconds. But then it was like, Jason Sudeikis and Ed Helms are in a reboot of the Vacation franchise. I'm like, in theaters? Netflix, sure. I get it. I don't know. Movies are weird. It's kind of like art plus money. It's a lot like what I do, because I'm like extremely artistic, as you can definitely tell. Like, I put a lot of effort into making sure these videos are polished, especially edited. Like, that's the most important thing to me. Do you understand the sarcasm yet? We're gonna fight here just real quickly, because it's a video game. And then we really need to, oh geez, tackle this room, because we need to see what awaits us in the future. Oh my god, we're still so far from Taurus. Please. Please! Taurus is about to happen. There we go. Like, we have this deal with the devil coming up. We can't afford anything unless it gives us something in return, and it doesn't. Dude, I would love Dark Bum. We're in a cursed run. This full-on is a cursed run. And I'm not saying that we didn't cause the curse, by the way. It was always burning since the world's been turning. But we didn't have to take Taurus. I still stand by doing so, because if we can just pick up, I mean, we already got speed from growth hormones, I guess, but if we can just pick up a little bit of extra speed, I don't need to hit Taurus at the start of every single room, but just to be able to, like, realistically get there would be real nice. We do still have a chance at boss rush, if we would like to, and I would like to if, hey, that's really useful. I would like to if we can also get to our item room here and then make it there quickly and teleport out of boss rush, which is a checklist that I'm really skeptical we're gonna fulfill. Can I also give a shout out to Leprosy? I was all set to talk about, like, oh, the state of the Hollywood film industry, but instead, you know, this run is taking me by surprise. We gotta pay very close attention to what's happening on screen, or we might find ourselves dying here. Good stuff. Okay, what do you got for me? I think that's worth it. It is going to be a little contentious, perhaps, because it doesn't necessarily immediately give us a benefit, but... Hey. That is not a speed upgrade, and in fact is just horrendous. I think I'm going to check our curse room. It pains me a little bit, but I think I'm going to do it. Half a spirit heart down the drain. Oh, please don't make me regret this. Gulp. So we gulped a good trinket, actually. We gulped the Locust of Death. So we're going to be generating flies that are doing a decent amount of damage. Statistically, this run is a wasteland right now. We need a little bit more in pretty much every department to be stoked. I know that seems unfair when we have a 5 rate of fire and Holy Light, but nah, this one's it's going to be a little bit more of a scrape. To be honest, like, all we really need is a couple of red hearts would also make me a lot more confident in the way things are going. But we're not there yet, so don't worry about it too much. Should probably be shooting a little bit more. I think we're relying a little bit too much on our orbitals, when our shots, especially with Holy Light existing, are pretty solid. Huge bummer we couldn't get Dark Bum, though. Dark Bum would have solved our HP problems pretty much immediately. Puberty again. Happy to have it. Closes us in on an HP upgrade. Bad gas. Not happy to have it. Okay, blow it up. Let's go. Got a bomb and a penny. Those are the weird eyeball tiers. Or the weird coin tiers. We can get to them. Right, you thought you couldn't fly. We'll take them. And we'll take Aquarius, but it's pretty not great. At least it doesn't have like a huge impact on our run. But to be fair, that's probably positive, because if it has a huge impact on your run, then something's gone terribly wrong. That was a really dumb bit of damage to take. We'll pick this up. Excuse me? Oh, we only have 2 cents. Because we got hit, we lost money? Wait a minute, what happened there? I thought we had 5 cents. I might have just miscalculated, but I feel like something more sinister is going on. Oh, no, I remember. Okay. Sometimes we shoot a coin out of our face, and it does a bunch of damage, but it does cost us a coin literally. So it's an item that it feels like will scale pretty well later on, but yeah, I see. If you kill them when they're frozen with the coin, you get more coins in return, I guess. Alright, well, we'll try to get ourselves to 5 cents, but... And we're gonna get there, thankfully. Just want to play it cool. I think we do want to fight the mini-boss, too. I'm hopeful that we can get to a period of safety here. It seems like we're starting to close in on something, but, you know, that helps out a great deal, actually. Let's go. 5 cents again. You know, maybe I won't buy a Spirit Heart. We've missed Boss Rush. I'm not saying we shouldn't, just that, maybe it's not that important. We could save our money for a little bit of extra damage done to these enemies instead. Oh, it's like the Eye of Gold shot has, like, unlimited range, too. That was weird. I sort of completely don't understand this item and its supposed usefulness, but that's never stopped me before. I'll be darned if it's gonna stop me now. You know what I think the next milestone is? 25 is potentially a good one. Oh, dude, some HP would be amazing. 25 is a big one. I mean, every run, I really want to get out of the mindset, I think, that, you know, some runs are less important than others. But it's 25 and then 29. 29 is one win for every year that I've been alive on planet Earth. Every win after that is uncertain territory. I don't know, maybe it pays to have superstitions like that. I can't believe that worked. Because we're playing a little bit of a luck-based game. To some extent. Stay away from me, please. What do I want here? Is there any... This is actually a good, like, final exam question for Isaac. Is there a deal with the devil that gives you speed? I can think of one off the top of my head. Lord of the Pit definitely gives you speed. Free guppy item, please. Oh, free spirit heart is okay, but not nearly as good as I was looking for. I don't know, man. I feel like we're in cursed territory. I don't have a principle for this. I feel much more comfortable when I'm held in by rigid principles. When I got the Macbeth principle, you know, that's one thing. This is not a Macbeth principle run. We definitely do not have hubris. It's not really a Corey factor run either, because we haven't slowed down that much. So this is a run that's just... I just got to accept this might be the NL zone. The zone where, you know, you live or die based on your own performance, and either outcome is just about as likely as the other one. So we wanted to come back here. We really want Guppy as a transformation, and we did not get it. Oh, yeah, you just got to throw a key to the key god sometimes. And then you do a little Canadian accent on top of it, and it works out nicely. It's a little... another superstition for you. You always give a key to the key gods, and then you go, oh, how about Jake Gardner getting 2 minutes for instigating in Game 5, eh? Ref needs to go to Hakeem Optical. Get some contact lenses. It's more Minnesotan, I guess. It kind of, you know, they're all from the same northern family of accents, I think. You know, I'm the guy, I watch Fargo and I go, why is everyone talking so normal? Referencing college hockey teams I actually am aware of. Oh, you're gonna watch the Golden Gophers, eh? Oh, yeah. Hey. Please stop taking my keys. I need those for important business-related endeavors. Mind you, it's kind of rich to say after we picked up an item called Keybagger. That being said, dude, I'm stoked. I just realized, and luckily my brain was one step ahead of this versus where I was. As a result of the AAA battery, we will be able to use Spider Butt once a room. Small rock, please. Not a speed down? It's a huge speed down. That was so highly not necessarily worth it, but the jury's still out to some extent because the damage was also pretty necessary. Okay. Alright, well, we get it out of your system at least, but... okay. We want to use Spider Butt, but we also really, really want to beat the odds on deals with the devil, which we've been lucky enough to do. Don't get me wrong, the game has been pretty kind to us on these devil deals, but I would still like to get some more. We gotta be very careful because we can't really afford them, but... the pill? Explosive diarrhea, okay. Excellent. Hermit card? It might do something for us, but it's not gonna do what it says on the tin. Here's how I think we do this. We pretty much... I'm not gonna say we've given up on the Guppy Dream. Come on, dude. But I think it's fair to say the Guppy Dream is a pretty low percentage one right now. Now, if you could have found it in your heart to give me a little support there, I might have considered it, but... this all being said, that was going to be a roundabout excuse for why I don't want to go to the Curse Room, but I'm going to go to the Curse Room, because I still... you know, we're only 2 Guppy items away, so if we can get one here, or even just get Spirit Hearts, which obviously either of those would have been an awesome outcome, but they didn't come to pass, we would have been pretty stoked. Instead, we're pretty choked. It's the opposite of stoked in the surfer parlance. You wouldn't know that because you don't shred waves like I do. And as a result, I'm the coolest kid in school. Hey. Any room on which we actually have the ability... you know, we should take this just in case we get a deal with the devil. Any room on which we actually have the ability to use Taurus is a dream come true. It doesn't happen very often. Like, what is the single biggest speed upgrade in this game? Because that's... you know the Parks and Recreation quote that's like, you know... give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Oh, 1 bacon and eggs coming right up. No, I don't think you heard me. Give me all of the bacon and eggs you have. I'm in that Ron Swanson boat right now. I'm not asking you for a speed upgrade. I'm asking you for all the speed you could possibly muster. Yo, this is incredibly unlikely and yet simultaneously very useful. Thank you so much. We don't need to hit 2 speed. Wow, we're going to be able to fight Hush. And absolutely, why would you ever do that? Absolutely 100% will not fight Hush because that's idiotic. But if we could even get to like a 1.25 speed, I think I'd be a lot less ornery about this situation. I should not have taken Taurus. And after taking Taurus, I don't know, was Small Rock worth it? It seems to be helping us turn this run around, but starting at 0.7 speed every time, 0.76 is really starting to bum me out, to be honest. I think we do more damage. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I think we do more damage with our Taurus contact than we do with the fly. Oh my god, it's just horrible. I don't even think it's worth a free deal with the devil. Like, I don't think the strength card is worth it to pick up Ghost Baby or the Razor. So, the good thing about the Razor is that I believe while you're invincible, using it more doesn't hurt you. So for the cost of, like, a Spirit Heart, we could get a lot of damage, but it's highly, highly not worth it. But this floor looks very interesting so far. Really? Okay. The library is an amazing potential get for us. Haven't we already? We've already had 2 books. So Bookworm is probably coming one way or the other. And then on top of that, we stand to maybe get something a little bit more useful than our existing spacebar item. And even if we don't want that, we at least get more HP out of the items that exist so far. Book of Revelations, Book of Shadows. Paralysis, great card. I think we're going to roll Satanic Bible. We would love an offensive item, but none of these really fit the bill. Hate to leave Spider Butt, except for the fact that even though it's working once every couple of rooms, it's still kind of trash. Now, I know I re-rolled a Spirit Heart there. I thought our Spirit Heart situation was relatively good. Maybe it was the time for us to try to re-roll that into something more useful. It became a single penny, so I would say mission fail to a high degree. Compromise to a permanent end. But, hey, sometimes you gotta roll the dice if you want to get Yahtzee, right? And by sometimes, I mean all the time. Unless there's some kind of... Has Yahtzee been remade into, like, a modern board game yet? Where there's, like, you know, classes and stuff like that, and you can use the special ability token to give yourself a value you choose in whatever category. Probably not, huh? Which means there's a space in the market for it. Please? I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna be very salty about taking damage in a lot of these situations. Because a homing tier is actually nearly impossible to dodge when your speed is that bad. A beam, yeah, we should get out of the way. A homing shot, you know, try as you might, you could find yourself in a rough spot there. Dude, you don't want this? Okay, I mean, I'll pick it up. Whew. So honestly, our prophecy from the start of this run is kind of coming true. It seems to me like we are probably going to end up coming away with a win, largely due to a high rate of fire and holy light. And I got a great excuse to not even be able to blow up this guy, so that's wonderful news. But everything else is very ancillary on this run, and the run itself got a little silly. All I can ask is that we get the opportunity to take this one, you know, take me home country roads like it belongs. Just as many holy light shots as possible. I still have no idea if Eye of Gold is actually any good. Ugh. I hate myself. How did we dodge that? Yeah, Eye of Gold is like... I mean, I feel like if you get it early, you'd be upset because it kind of takes your money when you don't want it to. But it probably mostly pays dividends, but... Maybe I've got the item all wrong. Maybe I actually spent the money and was just getting confused. Because it is still shooting, even without me having any coins. Oh, do not go to Delirium on this run. The game likes to taunt me, and it's seducing some of you in the comments. I can already see it in my mind's eye. NL won't go to Delirium. That's a dang lie. I went to Delirium recently. PhD. Just don't want to get myself guaranteed killed on Delirium unless I, have no other choice. I am going to take Dr. Fetus, and it may indeed ruin Holy Light. This is well, I thought it was going to be a little better than that, but it may indeed ruin Holy Light, but it gives us a more consistent damage source. Holy Light, it's always going to be a part of the team that won this run. In fact, it was team captain. But sorry, we had to trade you at the trade deadline. Picked up some, a stable stay-at-home defenseman for the championship run. And really, the most captain-like thing you could do sometimes is just leave the team when they ask. So, I really appreciate your loyalty. And, your jersey's getting retired. Day one, when you're out of the league. But for now, we had to act in the fans' best interest here because they're the ones, paying the ticket price. Could you stop moving like immediately when I? Yeah, thank you. All right. Here comes the boom. Ready or not, here come the boys from the south. Just like to reference the classics, POD, Papa Roach, Evanescence, and so on and so forth. Almost. There we go. I gotta be real with you. I think that this run, probably, if there is a Lord above, this is the run where they said, you know what? NL, he's been doing a good thing, but it's time for him to come back down to earth. 3 weeks of wins in a row gets a little bit boring for the audience. Let's do him a solid and give him a hard run so he has a good reason to roll over. And this is the run where I picked up the sword, and the sword is, in this case, is my own ability and talent, preternatural skill at the game, and I slayed the god. God is dead. Now I'm the god. 21 wins in a row. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.